From the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, this is TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and alongside me, as he usually is, THI publisher Andrew Jones. And Andrew, a little bit over an hour ago, we've been waiting for the music to turn off, and excuse the noise in the background. They're breaking down all the bleachers and moving everything right now, so if you hear any random banging noises, that's
sounds
what
like
you're
we're
hearing.
under attack.
We've already had to pause this and do it over again because it sounded like someone's getting shot in here, but Carolina beat Miami, snapped the 5-game losing streak, 94-71, AJ. And AJ, I think the biggest talking point from this game, Carolina's offensive efficiency. We haven't seen that a lot this season.
No.
I know Miami isn't the greatest team right now, a lot of injuries like Carolina, but Carolina looked really good on offense today. Carolina moved the ball well, a lot of assists, made some open shots as the banging continues in the background. But AJ, what did you maybe see from this team that we haven't seen a lot this season? Because like we touched on in the last video before we had to turn it off, we haven't really seen Carolina be this efficient against anybody this season.
No, not at all. This was their best offensive performance by a gazillion miles. They did everything well offensively. It began with Leaky Black's game management, which we saw progress up at Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. You know, Leaky's dealing with the turf toe, which he's told us Friday is close to 100%. Mm-hmm. We see it on the floor. You can see his lateral quickness better. You can see his head is up more. He's playing with more confidence. And so it begins there at the point. The point has to be able to see things and get them going into stuff. But from there, their spacing was fantastic. Mm-hmm. They moved the ball crisply and effectively, but they didn't rush things, okay? And they had such wonderful awareness about where each other was on the floor. And really, if you start looking at his own offense, if you have a big guy like Garrison Brooks who goes out high inside the free throw line, and he can catch that ball, turn and shoot, but can also pass, that really makes this zone offense work really, really well. And what you saw from Garrison today, not a huge offensive game, but Miami had to respect him and respect his ability to hit that shot there and also pass, because remember, he had 6 assists in Blacksburg on Wednesday night. So he only had 2 tonight, but he had the pass that led to the assist.
He was still doing things,
or the pass that led to the pass that had the assist.
Exactly.
It was symmetry in motion a lot of times on offense, and I don't think we've said that about this team at all.
I don't remember saying
this season. And eventually they hit a lot of shots. I mean, it came down to it. They just hit a bunch of shots, but they hit open shots. Not a whole lot of them were contested, which we've seen for the most part this season. And you know, Roy keeps telling us, and Justin Pierce swears by it every time we talk to him. Playtech says it, P-Rub says it. They say, we have guys that can shoot on this team. We just haven't seen it on a regular basis. Well, with open looks, it's a little bit less stressed, and they knocked him down. Absolutely. The offense was amazing. 32 assists on 40 field goals. That's 4 out of 5. That's the most assists in the Roy Williams era. 5 Tar Heels had 4 or more assists, and another guy had 3. It was an outstanding offensive performance. If you are a coach and you want to show a team how to run zone offense,
someone to look at.
Today's the day to do that.
Absolutely, and a part of that, kind of the catalyst behind that really good performance on offense by North Carolina was senior guard Brandon Robinson, 29 points, career high from him. I think he shot 50% from the floor as well from the 3-point line. So big game from Brandon Robinson. He had a career high 27 against Clemson, 2 weeks ago. I think that was January 11th, so about 2 weeks ago on the dot. Had a career high. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for him, which you can read on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I actually wrote a story about that, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But big day from Brandon Robinson. He just seems like, through this tough stretch for Carolina, him and Garrison Brooks have kind of been those bright spots. And don't forget, he didn't have the greatest game against Pitt, and then he didn't play against Virginia Tech. So I mean, a lot of credit to Brandon Robinson for coming out here and playing as well as he did today.
Streak at home against Clemson ends. B-Rob had a big game, but he didn't want to talk about that.
No.
Several hours later, he's in a car accident.
Yep.
Hurts his neck, misses most of practice. They had the week off going into Pittsburgh. They didn't play during the week. That Thursday he practiced. He went ahead and played against Pitt, played 32 minutes, and right before one of his last minutes on the floor, back of the neck gets banged up, had stiffness, didn't even make the trip to Blacksburg.
Nope.
Even yesterday, Roy said they were running their rotation of nine plays in the rotation of the stuff they were working on. B-Rob would play in 3 of them. And so they really didn't know until this morning. He came in here and got some shots up with Andrew Playtech at 6:30 this morning, and that's when they pretty much determined he was going to go ahead and play. What an amazing game!
Absolutely,
you've got to feel good for him. You know, this guy won a national championship as a freshman. He's got a ring.
Yeah, he's got one. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, his senior year is this. But if you think of the perseverance that we're starting to see from this group as they've come through, they're coming through the funk right now.
Yeah.
You know, the cloud, the thickness of the cloud and the fog is kind of clearing a little bit for these guys, and I think that they're just being around them as much as we are, they're a more relaxed team this week than they were the week before. And I think B-Rob and him hitting shots and the fact that he and Garrison have had some big games, even in losses, has kind of given this group a glimmer of hope, thinking, you know what, if both of them could play well on the same night, and then you know who comes back at some point, there's a chance. And I think that's one of the things that's kept these guys going. And B-Rob today, man, he gave them huge energy. Because it was sluggish at first. Carolina was 2 for its first 9. And then the Tar Heels were 38 for their last 60, and B-Rob was a huge part of that. 29 points, hit 6 threes, drew a charge. Here's a guy who missed the game the other day because of a neck injury from a car accident. He's drawing a charge. That kind of stuff trickles down. And I thought B-Rob, with his play and his effort and his energy, showed a lot of leadership today.
AJ, I'm going to keep this last point short and sweet for you because I know they're about to start taking those bleachers down. Carolina really needed this. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but Carolina needed this victory. And for it to happen in the way it did, 20-plus point victory, I mean, that's exactly what the doctor called for, I think, for this team.
Well, they've had double-digit leads in 3 of the last 3 losses. Okay? Well, 3 of the last 4, not at Pitt. I asked Andrew Playtech. I said, given the way things have gone this year, and you can check this on YouTube as well, that interview with Andrew, you can see how he laughed in his response. I said, given the way things have gone, at what point did you look up at the score and say, I think we got this one? And he started laughing, and it's an appropriate laugh. And I think that these guys played real hard well into the second half because they kind of have that sense of nothing is really safe until it's over. And that's maybe the lesson learned from the last few weeks. So perhaps they carry that through. The next time they have a 12-point lead, they finish the deal. So look, you got to start somewhere. And we talked after Blacksburg about how the fact they competed for 50 minutes and did some good things in that game.
More positives,
they were a little bit better offensively, the execution, had some good stretches defensively, gets team to turn the ball over. Today they had more of the same. I know that Miami was without Chris Likes. I know that Miami is having its own issues right now. But you know what? Carolina took advantage of that. Teams, maybe Pitt took advantage of Carolina a week ago. Carolina took advantage of that today, and that's a very positive step in the right direction. Now they got to go to a Hornets Nest in Raleigh Monday night.
We'll see
if it carries over. It has to carry over because the odds that they have Cole are probably pretty slim. So these guys are going to have to do it themselves.
Exactly. For TarIllustrated.com, I'm staff writer Jacob Turner. He's publisher Andrew Jones. Thank you guys for watching. Again, you can check out all the interviews from today's game, all the write-ups on TarIllustrated.com. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to us. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.